Angel Reese fans are they're sad.
I just heard now that Angel Reese's unrivaled jersey sold out in just 2 minutes. Sounds almost too good to be true, right? This lightning-fast sellout has left people asking, was it an incredible moment for women's basketball, or is there something else at play? While fans are excited, many are also frustrated. How could such a high-demand item sell out so fast? Everyone was ready to buy, but most were left empty-handed, causing confusion and anger across social media. It's impressive that the jersey sold out so quickly, but something feels off. Was this truly driven by fans, or could there be another reason behind it? Let's take a look at the timeline and uncover the truth behind this rapid sellout. So, let's break down the timeline of this sellout. Angel Reese's jersey dropped at exactly 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, that in itself isn't anything unusual. It's common for merchandise to drop at a specific time. But here's where things get interesting. Just 4 minutes later, articles confirming the jersey's sellout began popping up across different websites. Wait, what? 4 minutes? How could they possibly confirm the sellout that quickly? It doesn't take long to hit sold-out status, but tracking the demand, processing the data, and writing a full article in that time frame? That's a bit sketchy, right? The more you think about it, the more it starts to feel, well, coordinated. Was this just a case of lightning-fast reporting? Or was the timing too perfect to be natural? Almost like someone was waiting for this moment and was ready to hit publish as soon as the clock struck 1:04 p.m. Seems a little too quick for a real-time sellout, don't you think? Now, let's talk about the timing of all this. So here's the big question. How in the world did they manage to get inventory data and articles out so fast? We're talking about just minutes after the jersey dropped. 4 minutes to be exact. Boom. Headlines confirming the sellout. That's almost too quick to be real, don't you think? In a typical release, data and coverage usually take a little time to catch up with what's actually happening. But not here. This feels like a well-oiled machine moving way faster than usual. Makes you wonder, where are those articles already written and just waiting in the wings for the jerseys to sell out? The speed at which everything unfolded gives off some major prepped-for-the-moment vibes. It's almost like they knew exactly when the jerseys would go live and were just waiting for the right time to hit publish. Let's take a closer look at the inventory situation here. Was there really enough stock to meet the demand? Or was the inventory limited from the start? It's a valid question because if there were only a few jerseys available, the sellout would make sense, but it would also raise doubts about whether it was all just a setup to create an illusion of demand. Could it be that there was no way to actually meet the massive fan demand, so they intentionally understocked to make the whole release feel more exclusive? And then there's the smoothness of the entire release. The process was too perfect. The timing, the build-up, the anticipation, everything went off without a hitch. Usually when something sells out so quickly, you'd expect chaos. Website crashes, angry fans, and maybe even resellers trying to snatch up whatever's left. But instead, it was all calm and collected. No chaos, no massive website traffic spikes. It almost felt like the release was planned to go perfectly. This raises another thought. Could this have been a strategic PR move? Instead of letting demand organically take over, maybe the goal was to create a buzz and get people talking. By controlling the inventory and making sure it sold out in record time, they were able to generate a frenzy and, in turn, make the story itself the headline. It's a common tactic used in marketing to create what's called false scarcity, where the illusion of limited supply drives up demand. In this case, it's not clear whether fans were driving the sellout or if it was designed to look like a fan-driven success. Now, let's talk about the other jerseys that were supposedly sold out at the same time as Angel Reese's. Brittany Griner, Chelsea Gray, Natasha Cloud. These are some of the biggest names in women's basketball, and their jerseys were reportedly snapped up just as fast. But hold on a second, is this really realistic? These players, while incredibly talented, have different fan bases, some larger, some smaller. So how is it possible that jerseys for all of them sold out within the same short window of time? It feels a bit odd, right? Different players, different fan followings, and yet all of their jerseys are gone in a blink. If you think about it, it's not exactly what you'd expect from a truly organic sellout. A jersey for a high-profile player like Angel Reese is likely to sell out quickly, no doubt about it. But the same can't be said for all players, especially when they don't have the same level of mainstream popularity. So, How did all of these jerseys sell out with such precision? This is where things start to feel a little too coordinated. The timing of the sellouts seems too perfectly synchronized, which doesn't really align with real fan behavior. When something sells out naturally, there's usually a bit of chaos involved. Some items fly off the shelves faster than others, and some fans are disappointed when they miss out. But this kind of identical timing across various players just doesn't match up with what we'd expect from genuine demand. Now, let's talk about the fans. The people who were ready to grab their Angel Reese jersey the moment it dropped, only to be left empty-handed. The frustration among fans was palpable. Imagine being excited for weeks, planning to snag that jersey, only to find out it's sold out in a matter of minutes. Disappointment doesn't even begin to cover it. Many fans were ready to go at 1 p.m. sharp, but the reality was that by the time they hit purchase, everything was already gone. They weren't even given a chance. What's even stranger is the complete lack of chaos surrounding this sellout. Normally, when something sells out this quickly, you expect to see some kind of frenzy. Crashed websites, overloading servers, or even bots snatching up everything in sight. But in this case, nothing. The website didn't crash, there were no signs of chaos, and there certainly weren't any resellers grabbing up the stock and flooding the market. It's almost like it was all too smooth. No mad scramble, no chaos, no frustration beyond the fans who missed out, and that in itself is a little suspicious. Now let's dig into one of the most common theories when it comes to sellouts like this. Manufactured scarcity. Was the inventory of Angel Reese's jersey purposely limited to make sure it sold out in record time? It's a tactic often used in marketing to create buzz. By offering a limited number of items, it forces fans to rush in and make a purchase before it's too late. And in this case, the quick sellout and smooth process raise serious questions. Could the jerseys have been understocked from the start to make the whole thing feel more exclusive and exciting? If this was the plan, it worked like a charm. The sellout wasn't just a result of demand. It could have been engineered from the start. And here's where it gets even more interesting: fake demand. This isn't some conspiracy theory, but rather a well-known strategy used in marketing. We've all seen those limited edition items where the inventory is so restricted that it creates a frenzy for something that might not even be that rare. It's the perfect recipe for hype. Create the illusion of scarcity and watch the demand soar. By limiting the stock and playing into the rush of fans, the release of Angel Reese's jersey could have been a carefully orchestrated move to get people talking, tweeting, and scrambling to buy something that wasn't actually as limited as they thought. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of what makes a sellout real versus one that might have been orchestrated from the start. A genuine sellout is rarely as neat and tidy as we saw with Angel Reese's jersey. Normally, when something is in high demand, chaos follows. Fans rush to grab their item, and the website crashes under the sheer volume of traffic. There's a frenzy, a bit of confusion, and perhaps even some frustration. Because let's face it, when something sells out quickly, it's never a smooth experience. But that's exactly what makes it real. We've all witnessed this, from concert tickets to limited edition sneakers. There's always a mad scramble. Now compare that to what happened here. The release was almost too perfect. No server overload, no site crashes, and surprisingly, very little friction in the buying process. The speed of the sellout felt almost rehearsed, almost too coordinated. This leads us to wonder, was the process engineered to unfold this smoothly? And if so, could it have been a PR stunt all along? The more you think about it, the less it seems like an actual sellout, and more like a meticulously planned event to generate maximum buzz. Instead of the usual chaos that comes with high-demand merchandise, everything was surprisingly under control. This brings us to the bigger picture, the PR narrative. In most cases, a sellout like this would be about fulfilling fan demand and getting the product into the hands of those who wanted it. But with Angel Reese's jersey, the focus seemed to be less about satisfying fans and more about creating a story. A sellout in 2 minutes? That's newsworthy. It's a headline story. It's a talking point. But the real question is, was the real goal to create that buzz, to generate press, and to make sure everyone was talking about it? In an industry where athletes rely on their paychecks to fuel their careers, not receiving bonuses is a major red flag. When you think about it, the athletes are the face of the league. Without them, there would be no games, no merchandise, no fans, and ultimately, no revenue. So, if a league is unable to pay its players on time, it casts doubt on its ability to fulfill its other obligations, like product development, marketing, and even paying for basic operational costs. But in the midst of these financial issues, the league has somehow managed to pull off one of the most successful merchandise drops in recent memory. The timing of the sellout, the perfect execution, and the smooth rollout all seem out of place when compared to the financial instability that's reportedly plaguing Unrivaled. It raises an important question. How can an organization be struggling to pay its players, yet flawlessly release a highly profitable product? This inconsistency between the league's financial woes and the apparent success of the merch drop feels off. Here's where things get even more curious. The merch release was absolutely flawless. We're talking about a perfectly timed event, a smooth online transaction process, and a sellout that left fans in awe. But let's take a step back and ask ourselves, how could a league that can't pay its athletes their bonuses possibly manage a perfectly executed merchandise drop? The timing was spot on, and the execution seemed meticulously planned, almost as if there was more money and resources behind this release than anyone had originally thought. This raises a serious question about where the money is coming from. If Unrivaled is really facing a financial crisis, how could they afford such a high-profile and flawlessly executed marketing campaign? Was this well-coordinated release a tactic to bring in quick revenue to help solve the league's financial problems? Could the sellout have been orchestrated to boost the league's image and generate cash flow in a way that doesn't immediately reveal the true financial state of the organization? The contrast between Unrivaled struggles to meet player compensation and the smooth, almost flawless execution of the merchandise drop creates a sharp contradiction. It seems too clean, too polished, for a company allegedly dealing with financial instability. This inconsistency adds more fuel to the fire of skepticism surrounding the jersey sellout, and it leaves fans and critics questioning whether this was a calculated effort to distract from larger issues. As we wrap up this deep dive into Angel Reese's jersey sellout, it's clear that there's more to the story than what initially meets the eye. While the impressive speed of the sellout might have you believing in the overwhelming demand for the jersey, a closer look raises serious doubts. Could this sellout be part of a larger strategic PR move rather than a reflection of true fan-driven demand? The flawless execution, lightning-fast sellout, and perfect timing all point to something a bit too orchestrated for comfort. While it's certainly exciting to see the support for Angel Reese and the league, the lack of chaos, the smooth rollout, and the immediate coverage all suggest that this might have been a carefully planned event to create a buzz rather than an organic, fan-driven sellout. In fact, the way everything unfolded feels almost too polished. A textbook case of marketing tactics used to build hype and generate revenue, rather than a genuine reflection of market demand. When you add in the financial struggles that Unrivaled is reportedly facing, it becomes even more difficult to ignore the possibility that the sellout was part of a larger strategy to distract from deeper issues, boost the league's image, and create a sense of urgency that would spur sales. The perfect execution of this event, especially amidst financial instability, raises significant questions about how much of it was a genuine fan reaction and how much of it was engineered behind the scenes. So, what's the bottom line here? How many jerseys were truly available in the first place? Was this really a case of high demand? Or was the stock intentionally limited to create an illusion of scarcity? And why was the release so perfectly timed? Was it all part of a larger plan to generate buzz? Or was there something more authentic behind it? The answers to these questions remain unclear, but one thing is for sure. This sellout has sparked more curiosity, skepticism, and discussion than we could have ever expected. Whether it was a brilliant PR move or just a fortunate confluence of events, the story of Angel Reese's jersey drop is far from over. The truth behind the timing, inventory, and fan reaction is still out there, and it's up to us to keep asking the hard questions. Now that you've heard all the details behind Angel Reese's jersey sellout, I want to hear from you. What do you think? Was this a legitimate fan-driven sellout, or is there something more to the story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get the conversation going. If you found this dive into the world of sports merch, PR stunts, and sellouts interesting, don't forget to subscribe for more insider insights and deep dives into all things sports, marketing, and beyond. Stay tuned for more as we continue to uncover what's really happening behind the headlines.